person who contributed to the industry above and beyond during his or her lifetime to enhance and improve the association, not just today, but in the future too. And I can't think of anyone more deserving than Larry Stern to receive this award. Now, I can give you the facts. Larry has served pretty much every position that this association has. He's been the chair, the foundation chair, the finance committee chair, a vice president. He's participated in LEAD. He's been the IDEA chair twice. And he's also served on the AD and Supply Force board. And those are the facts. I can tell you, nobody has served in more positions and more passion than Larry. But when I look at Larry, I see something else. I think of Larry as just being a great husband. Donnie, can I say that? Good. A devoted father, passionate. Matt, Sam? Okay, I'm safe there. But he's a charitable person who gives back locally and globally through the schools he and Donnie support in Uganda and other efforts. He runs a first-rate, excellent distributorship, and he really cares about his associates. And despite doing all those things, he has the passion and energy to give back as much as he does to this industry and the association. Nobody has done it better than Larry. Now, and he's done that, despite being a lawyer and a CPA. I mean, talk about overcoming obstacles. But I'm sure you all appreciate what he's done for NAD, but you're probably asking yourself, how did he get to be the IDEA chair twice? Well, that's between him and the IDEA board, but let me tell you how he got to be on the IDEA board the first time. I call it the Larry Stern question. Some people are really good at asking questions. Larry is an artist, and he's got a technique. And I first noticed this a while back when someone from IDEA, not David Oldfather, this was a long time ago, was presenting to the NAD board. Now here's the thing about Larry, when he asks a question, he starts and his head sort of goes back and forth, and sort of scrunches his face a little bit. And he puckers his face and he says, wait a minute. You gotta explain this to me. I don't understand it. Then it's Larry Stern's wind up. I think Nolan Ryan, Orlando Hernandez, they're winding up. But instead of throwing a fastball, Larry's thrown out a really good question. And the questions always penetrate to the heart of the matter. They're always polite, they're always respectful, but they always focus on, they're productive, and they focus on the important stuff. And usually, in the times he's done it to me, it's something I haven't thought about. So the right answer typically is, oh crap, I didn't think of that, or let me get back to you, I'll look it up. But sometimes people go to board meetings and, they don't want to admit they don't know something, especially when they're talking about technology and data. And this person just tried to answer the question. And when you're talking about technology, especially about IDEA in the old days, it was really hard. They threw out a lot of adjectives and adverbs and, talk about IDX and IDW and data sets. And I think they hoped they were going to lose Larry along the way. But Larry, he just starts shaking his head again. He's puckering his lips, and he's scrunching his face, and he says, "No, I don't understand. You gotta explain it to me." And now most people at this point, smart people, would just admit that I'll get you more information. I'll get back to you. This person doubled down, so he answers again with more acronyms, more jargon, talks of the data sets and all that stuff. He's hoping to lose Larry. And this time, though, you can see he's feeling the pressure. I mean, he's starting to look a little red and the sweat's beating up on his forehead, his brow. Well, Larry's not going to give up. He wants an answer. So Larry's head goes back and forth. He scrunches his face. He says, oh, wait, you gotta explain it to me. I just don't understand. This went on for 3 or 4 times. And the poor guy's face is just deep red and the sweat's pouring off his face. And, he's got that sweat's coming off his armpits. It's just disgusting. He's visibly shaken. But he doesn't have the good sense to say, I don't know, let me get back to you. So the only thing that saves him is the chairman takes pity on him at the time and says, all right, we're running a little bit late. Get back to the board next week and tell you what you know. Tell us what you know. So, okay, immediately, right after the next break, I check on that person, make sure, give him some water, make sure he isn't having a heart attack, because there is nothing that ruins a board meeting than somebody having a heart attack. But then I go to Larry and say, Larry, you've just been nominated to the idea board. And that's how Larry got started on the idea board, because idea needed someone at the time to cut through the BS and ask the tough questions and not get distracted by the jargon and the doublespeak. Here's the thing, Larry's question, he wasn't trying to harass anybody. His questions are usually right, always to the heart of the matter. And he's in search of knowledge and truth and clarity. I think he believes, like most of us believe, if you can explain something clearly and concisely, you probably know what you're talking about. And I think that search for clarity is really what has really benefited not just idea, but that's the clarity and the logic and the thinking that Larry's brought to NAD. That's one of the reasons why NAD is a better association thanks to his leadership. He has challenged us to be better than we were sometimes. And as importantly, in my point, he challenged the other board members and set the example to them that being on the NAD board isn't just an honor, because it is an honor, but it's a responsibility to the industry to be an NAD board member, and we as an association can be even better than we sometimes think we can be. So I think that passion permeates the NAD board today. I think we have a great board, and I think part of it's thanks to his inspiration, to the people who followed after him. So let me introduce the Arthur W. Hooper Award winner, and my friend, Larry Stern.
Thanks, Tom. My first question, have you been in some of the meetings of my own company with your comments? It's a little scary. You captured that a little too well, I think. But seriously, I really appreciate those remarks, Tom, and sorry, I've got to get it down a little lower for me. This obviously is a great honor and brings back a lot of memories. Just walking up here, that music was the theme when I was the chairman of NAED. And it really says a lot for the industry with Bruce Springsteen and the Rising, and I think it kind of embodies what we've been through for the last several years. But this award, I really am, by the way, I saw it here, I used to stand and talk and have the prompter and everything, but they go down there and it says no prompter, so I'm in trouble, so I do have a few notes here. But anyway, I really am honored and privileged, like some of the other award winners tonight. I want to really congratulate and acknowledge them for what they've done in the industry too. And I know, like them, it really is a humbling thing to be able to receive an award like this, and I really do appreciate the industry for it. I know personally some of the previous award winners, and you look at the list of those individuals, and it really is an impressive group of individuals. It humbles me to be thought of in the same breath as people like that. Of course, I need to first of all thank my lovely wife, and for those that know her and me, truly my better half, Donnie, for allowing me to be able to do the things that I've done in the industry. Also, I'm thrilled that my children, at least two of my children, are here tonight. My oldest son, unfortunately, Jason, he was planning to be here. He lives in New Orleans. He actually works for our company too, and he unfortunately got ill a little earlier in the week, and he has our first only grandchild, our granddaughter, 11 months old, who wasn't feeling well either. He thought better than to come here, so I'm sorry he's not here personally, but I do have my son Matt, who works with us in the business too, and it's great to see him and be able to start working with him in the industry. And also our daughter Sam. Sam does not work in the business. She's our world traveler. She was kind enough to take a break from some of her travels through the Americas to be here with us tonight. I really do appreciate that. And if anyone has any ideas to try to keep Sam here instead of going back on her world travels, I'm all ears. Her mom and dad, I'm sure, are all ears for that. I also want to thank and acknowledge the great associates that I work with in our company. A couple of them are here tonight, but all the associates just do a fabulous job with our business that really allows me the opportunity to do the things that I've been able to do in the industry. So without their support, obviously, besides my family, I could not be standing up here accepting an award like this today. You know, as Tom said, I never really grew up working in the business. I had a couple of other careers before, as so to speak, I found the light of the industry. The business is a 100-year-old family business. It was started by my grandfather. And I said, I pursued some other careers before getting involved in the business. And really, my main reason for getting involved in the business was I just think it's extremely important. Strong, independent family business are the backbone of what's built our country. And I wanted to carry on that business to a third generation. And by the way, I wanted to give that opportunity to my children, and it's thrilling to me to see my two sons involved in the business now. I wanted to give that to our fourth generation also. But you know what? One thing, as some others have said tonight too, I was actually pleasantly surprised. You know what? You guys aren't so bad. This is a great industry. So really, that part of it was not what I even knew. I didn't grow up, like I said, working in the business. I didn't know a widget from a doohickey, and then I counted some inventory in our warehouse at Christmas break and dusty, dingy places. But I really have been thrilled over the years to be able to work in this industry. We work with some of the most amazing global, world-class suppliers. And we, as distributors, are key partners in that supply chain, delivering products to the end user. And it's such an important industry in our global economy. So that part I've been pleasantly surprised to be able to get involved with. And obviously, as Tom said, I've had the opportunity in a number of different roles to stay involved. I really have to, as some of the others have touched on, looking back over the last 2 years, as was said, I'm really for those who don't know it, the 2020 award winner. First, when I heard from us, I thought maybe I was the first two-time award winner for this thing. But joking aside, obviously that wasn't the case. It was really nice, again, to be back in person, to be able to see all these great individuals in our industry. The last 2 years, though, I think have really shown how resilient of an industry we really are, and others have talked about it too. and Wes and John Kane had alluded to it. I actually put down the names because I didn't want to forget, but during the last 2 years, I really appreciated being part of this informal leadership council of individuals that we started out. We first learned what Zoom was and Teams was and all these different virtual capabilities, and we started when the pandemic first began, having these virtual meetings. And it was individuals in the industry like Wes and John Kane, George Vorwick, Dan Dungan, David White, David Rosenstein, John Harmon, Chris Scarborough, and Jeff Baker. I mean, some amazing individuals. There was no playbook when we had this pandemic start and the lockdown occur. We didn't even know what an essential business was, but we all still learned pretty fast. But these meetings that we had, these virtual meetings, really helped us get through this. I was going to tell one story. Jeff Baker was one of those individuals who I had never met before until virtually in these meetings. And everybody was kind enough to share their wisdom and how they were getting by and doing things that we all learned from. And very early on, you may all remember that the hand sanitizer, couldn't find it anywhere. Masks, you couldn't find them anywhere. And on one of these early calls, Jeff says, I got a guy. I got a guy. And here's his cell phone number. And actually, I was talking about this with George Vorwick last night. It was funny because he remembered the same thing. And he said, you call this number, he's going to pick up, and whatever number of masks you need, he'll be able to produce for you. So literally maybe 5 minutes after getting off this virtual meeting, I called this guy. I called his cell phone. The guy picked up. He said, yeah, we can get all the masks you want. How many do you need? He said, we need 300 of them. Give me my credit card information. And amazingly, literally 3 weeks later, 2-3 weeks later, all those masks showed up. But that was the kind of, I go through that story because it shows how willingly we are really to share, and especially over the last 2 years when none of us had any playbooks and we had to figure out on the fly what we needed to do. And I really appreciated Jeff and all the others on that call, that the words of wisdom and the things that they were doing with their companies. And really, if you think about it, we all changed a lot of things, and others said it before. Immediately when the lockdowns occurred, we all had to work remotely, and we had to do it very quickly, obviously, basically overnight, that we had never had to experience that before. And today, 2 years later, not only do we work remotely, but in our company, it's become of our culture that we've embraced, allowing people to work remotely. 2 years ago, I never would have thought of doing that. In our company, again, we developed new ways to generate leads. We reimagined our outside sales force into new hybrid types of sales. We ramped up our e-commerce efforts. We sped up our digitization efforts. And really, even today, we're still continuing to manage through the impacts of what the pandemic has affected us with the price increases that continue, the supply chain disruptions that continue. But through it all, I would submit that I believe our channel is as strong today as it's ever been, and that we all did an amazing job managing through the last 2 years to where we are today. So I never really set out with the expectation of receiving awards like this or any awards. I really just wanted to, as Tom has said, I wanted to contribute to the industry. I wanted to be able to help not only my company, but all distributors to be better. Because really, what it's all about at the end for distribution is that we need to be the channel of choice to our suppliers. And the only way we're going to do that is through working together, through learning from each other, from developing new tools and capabilities. And frankly, through this whole time of, as Tom said, all that I've given to the industry, the reality is that I've gotten 10 times back whatever I have been given to the industry over the years. the many friendships that I've nurtured over the years, I really treasure that. And really the opportunity, I think some others had said it earlier, the opportunity to learn from other really bright people. I can't tell you how many ideas that I've got from others over the years that we implemented in our own company. And without contributing to the industry, without getting involved in different boards and committees and different capacities, I never would have had that opportunity. So really, that's to me what this award is all about. As I said, I'm really humbled and privileged to receive it and be part of these previous award winners, and I'm touched to be recognized with these individuals. So before I end, first I would be remiss, as of my previous roles in NAD, not to talk about NAD as Dave Maxwell and some others had talked about also, and promote the organization. The tools and the resources that NAD has developed on our behalf are just invaluable for us to utilize to make our businesses better. My theme when I was chairman a few years back of NAD was make the most of your membership. I think that's as true today as it was then. Wes had touched on a number of initiatives over the past couple of years. John Kane mentioned some, and I won't bore you with a lot more, but I would say that learn about what these tools are and take advantage of them. And I'm not just talking to the distributors in the audience when I say that tonight. I'm also talking about suppliers. It'll make us all a better industry. And then Tom had also mentioned, I sometimes wonder, it was just foolish of me or just wanted to challenge, but going through IDEA, not once, but going on the board a second time, and then assuming the chairmanship a second time too. We've gone through a lot in that organization. That organization, as was mentioned by Tom this morning, it's owned by the industry. It's 50% owned by NEMA, it's 50% owned by NAD. It exists solely for the good of the industry, not for any additional separate private profit. It's the solution for the industry for complete and accurate transactional and enriched data. This morning it was just announced, that's a big deal with data agility and IDEA coming together. And the tools and the capabilities for all of us to grow and run our businesses, I would urge all you, suppliers and distributors, learn more about IDEA. Learn what the abbreviation even stands for. It's an extremely important tool for all of us to use in our businesses. And again, it's meant for us to improve our businesses, not for private enrichment. So I think with that, let me just end on just a few last thoughts. First of all, I know it's cliche, but the only thing, and I think the last 2 years have proven it out without a question, that change really is the only constant in all our businesses. There's constant change that we have to adapt to. But I tell you that business itself, though, it's not a revolution, it's an evolution. And we're all up to the challenge of tackling these changes. And I am confident that we as distributors will tackle these challenges and will remain the channel of choice for many years to come. And with that, I thank you for the award. It's thrilling to see everybody here this evening. I feel I was a little part of the development of this award ceremony. It's got nothing to do with me personally, but it has to do with acknowledging a lot of great individuals in the industry and the whole industry getting together. And so with that, I'm thrilled to see you all this evening again, and thank you again for the honor and award.